there will be people sitting here. I know from the Facebook group, there's people sitting here that haven't got their updated plan yet. They haven't been told, they haven't been formally told what the school or type of school the local authority are naming. Now, you can't appeal because you don't get your right to appeal until you've got your final plan in your hand. So you are a bit stuck. And while you're stuck, sitting, waiting, either getting radio silence from the local authority because your caseworker is snowed under or off sick or gone on holiday, or maybe you are getting responses, but they're about, oh, we're a bit delayed. You know, they're excuses. Panel haven't sat yet. It's going to be another few weeks. You know, whichever of those situations you are in, whether you are getting radio silence or you're getting what sound like, you know, fairly legitimate excuses, you haven't got time to waste. You need to put in a formal complaint to your local authority now. Don't waste any more time with your case officer. You need to use the local authority's formal complaints process. There's a clip in our YouTube channel which tells you exactly how to do that. And you need to put in that formal complaint as soon as possible, complaining that the local authority have not finalised your child's EHCP for phase transition by the 15th of February, naming a school or type of school. And this is important wording. In your complaint, you also need to say, and this is frustrating my right of appeal. I mean, you can guess what that means, but you need to use that wording, not any other, because that will just alert the local authority that you know what you're talking about and you've taken some legal advice, because that is a very serious legal breach, that wording, frustrating your right of appeal. Those are the words you need to use. Your other option is to consider using judicial review PAP. Now, the reason we say consider is because it is, at this stage, this is the nuclear option. This is the one that's likely to get you the quickest results, but there is a significant cost to it. And you need to weigh that balance up, because solicitors are charging anywhere between about £900 and £3,000 for a judicial review PAP letter, and all it's going to get you is your final plan. It's not going to get you a school named for that price that you're happy with. It's going to get you the final plan and get you your right of appeal. So weigh up the balance. There's a blog about judicial reviews, which, you know, gives you the full picture there, and there's, as I say, YouTube clips about particularly about putting in a formal complaint to the local authority, but there's also some clips about judicial review as well, so look at those. Yeah, okay. So I'm unpicking that same slide here now. Let's start over with the purple one. You've not received an updated plan naming a school or a type of school. Okay, YouTube channel, there's the link there. You need to search complaints. It will bring you up a 4 or 5 minute video which talks you through exactly how to make a formal complaint to your local authority. Don't do it any other way other than that way. It will be it just will be white noise any other way. It'll just be battered. I'm not saying it'll be ignored, but it won't follow a correct process. It'll just be kind of battered around a bit. You know, you might get an email response if you're lucky, but it won't be anything significant. Use that process and it will do the job. If you are thinking, for whatever reason, I haven't got time to waste and I have got the financial resources to get a judicial review underway, then read our blog. It's linked there about judicial reviews. For a judicial review, you need a solicitor. Shop around. As I say, I have spoken to a parent last week who had a judicial review pre-action protocol for phase transition done for £900. I have heard up to 3,000 be quoted, so shop around.
And you will find people online will say to you, oh, we'll do you a pre-action protocol for judicial review, and that'll cost you a couple of £100. The local authority will know that you do not have legal support and representation behind that, and they'll ignore it. Yeah. Judicial review is a threat. And if the local authority believe that it's a threat you're not prepared to carry out, they will see it as such, and it'll be a waste of time. So even if you spent a couple of £100 on something that you've pulled off the internet, that couple of £100 will not be well spent, because the local authority will not take any notice of it.
It's got to be written by a solicitor, and it's got to be written by a solicitor who potentially could take the action further to High Court if necessary. You can't do it yourself. I mean, you can, but it will just sit in the trash. They will just ignore it because they know, unless you are a solicitor who can take High Court action in this form of law, then they will know that you can't take it any further. It's a bit like me threatening to go in a boxing ring and fight a heavyweight boxer. I can,
But would you?
no. And if I did, I would. I mean, I'd be laughed at, wouldn't I? It's not going to happen.
And JR is time restricted, so you need to make sure that if you're going to put in a JR, you are putting that in within the 3 months.
Yes.
Or the judge can refuse to take it on anyway. So that there's more to it than just put in a PAP letter.
Yeah, and SOS SEN do them. They are the most reasonably priced, and they are legitimate, good PAP letters, but they're not going to work for phase transition because I think the last I heard they'd closed their waiting list. But prior to that, you were waiting 4 months. You can't wait 4 months to have a PAP letter written. You're going to miss your tribunal slot. So unfortunately, it is complaint or judicial review pre-action protocol. You can't do both. If you've put a complaint in, you can't then start judicial review pre-action protocol because you just have to wait and see the outcome of the complaint before you could take judicial review
it's one or the other at each time, isn't it? You can do one before, one after, but you can't have them running concurrently at the same time.
Yeah, you can, and you cannot appeal. Just to reiterate, you cannot appeal until you have the final plan in your hand.